Hi everyone, my name's Lily, and I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some diverse holiday romances. I know, it's November. We have less than 2 months left of 2024, and we're in the holiday season for a lot of people. So I'm going to be chatting today about diverse holiday romance stories that you might want to read for the holidays. I'm going to first start off with two YA picks, then I will go to adult picks. The first one is A Holiday Switch, which was such a cute story. Basically, they have a small town and it is called Holly, New York. It is so much in the Christmas spirit, but basically, she is on the last week of her winter break for high school and she has obviously holiday plans. Her boss's nephew is now her new coworker and they do not get along. Basically, she works in a holiday gift shop and their working styles are just totally opposites. And they accidentally switch phones and realize they've been hiding a lot of secrets. One of the main characters is a book reviewer, and I just loved it. Okay, I don't know if people, like, for example, authors who read books about authors really loved it, but I love when I read a book about a book reviewer or read books about reviewers in general, and this is entirely true. I loved that one of the main characters is a book reviewer, and in general, the Holiday Switch just had a lot of character work and it had a lot of heart. I am also Lila and I were just like on the same wavelength because not only is she a book reviewer, not only is she super efficient, she's dedicated to her work. She is type A to a fault, and that's me. That is me totally. And so this was just so fun. The next one and the other YA book is The Christmas Clash by Suzanne Park. I really love Suzanne Park's books, and The Christmas Clash is a really fun holiday one. But basically, it is set, or one of the settings for this one is a mall, and basically there are these two rival families who run different food court restaurants. And at the holiday season, one of the characters, Chloe, she's a photographer at the mall's like Santa Land is what it's called, but like, it's a one where people sit on Santa's laps and they have that Santa experience. And Peter, he works at a virtual reality North Pole experience, which is also in the mall as well. And they end up finding out that the mall is about to be sold to a developer. And so their families don't know what to do. Their jobs are also in the mall. And they realize that they might have to work together to save the mall. So, in general, as I said before, I'm a huge fan of Suzanne Park's books. And The Christmas Clash is just so fun. It is like incredibly light and it is just so holiday themed. For me, malls around the holidays are super nostalgic. I don't honestly know if this hits the same for readers who don't where like the mall doesn't feature as so much of a part of their childhood and their teenagehood, I guess, because I kind of got the vibe that malls were going out of style. But if you're like me, or if you also love malls, then you'll find this super nostalgic. And a lot of my reviews is talking about how nostalgic I feel about malls and also holiday mall displays. The Christmas Clash also has rival families. There's also hidden history between these rival families. There's also complicated siblings relationships. There's also difficult family conversations and feuds. We love feuds, so definitely recommend The Christmas Clash. Now I'm going to chat about adult romance books. Let's just start off with ones I have read. Yes, I'm going to start off with Wrapped with a Bow, which basically has so there's a romantic holiday movie in this book, and it's called Sleigh Bells, and it is set in their town. So their town is like super into being known for this film. And one of our main characters is a film liaison. And so she's trying to continue to revitalize the town, bring in new tourists, kind of put her hometown on the forefront of people's minds when they think of kind of vacation destinations. And she wants to also secure a sequel to Sleigh Bells, the original movie, which is going to obviously bring in a lot of tourism for her town. But they want to film at this historic house, which was given permission, I think, from like the person who was living there, but she ends up dying, and so the new inheritor who inherits the house from his great aunt is not interested in that. So now she has to try to figure out how to convince him to let them have the rights to potentially do a sequel for Sleigh Bells, and of course have some sparks along the way. So not only is this book kind of set around the holiday season, but it's also set around a holiday movie, so double bang for your buck here. I've really enjoyed Lily Vale's books so much in the past. You'll see that I've been a supporter early on. And Wrap with a Bow was just such a cute, I was going to say, you put like with a bow on top. It is such a cute holiday story about these like two people who have such a disastrous meet cute, honestly. And they have like his life is in New York. He's just kind of come back to kind of sell the house and get it over with. Her life is there. Can they make it work? Like, it is just so sweet. Next we have Make the Season Bright, which is the most recent from this whole video that I read, and it is two exes who end up being stuck at the same house for Christmas. Basically, first of all, they're both musician characters. I'll link down below the video that I did where I talk about musician characters. This was in it. But they're both musicians. One of them is a singer who was in a band, but they had like something happened with a band, broke up, or she left the band, and so she's kind of been floundering for what she should do. And the other one, she's in a quartet, super career focused, and one of her friends from the quartet, and I think some of her other quartet friends, go together because they're like, you need to relax, you need to calm down, you need to stop making us work so hard, you need to relax, come with us. And so unbeknowingly, two sisters, the two exes are invited by these two sisters to the same family house for Christmas, and they're like, do we tell people? Do we not tell people? And they decide not to tell people. And it is just fun, but I think what I loved the most about Make the Season Bright is that it is so deeply committed to being a second chance romance story in the fact, like, why did they break up to begin with? Because she was left at the altar by one of them. And why did that happen? And I think how do I discuss this without being spoilery? I really love characters who are in relationships who have to focus on or have to explore what happens when one person's image of their future or their life goes a different way. Like, how do we work on that? How do we reconcile that? How do we figure out how to bring someone into a vision of a life, how to realize sometimes when it's just not working. Like, we've tried our best and it just isn't working. And so that is kind of explored in Make the Season Bright. Was just so fun. Ashley Herring Blake is top tier romance author status, and had to mention that one. The next one is Amore Actually, which is a series of short stories. So good. If you also feel like Love Actually time in the year, but also Love Actually was like super white, super straight, Amore Actually is the answer to all of that. It takes a lot of romance authors and their take on stories from Love Actually, or stories around characters from Love Actually, in a Love Actually style where they're all kind of connected in certain different ways, and they have happily ever afters. There's 9 different stories. It is just so fun. There's so many different takes on different Love Actually characters or character types in this one, and it's also infusing Love Actually with just so much more life and color. Basically, nothing screams holiday like the fact that Love Actually is going to be playing on repeat from basically now until Christmas, but this is like Love Actually that I wish I saw on the screen. Next one is You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, which obviously is a holiday story because that one totally is just like a line from The Grinch, like, you're a mean one. And it is a holiday romance where it's like, do you feel a bit grinchy, right? It plays on this idea of a Grinch, of like a grumpy character. Basically, Matthew Prince is just thoroughly spoiled. The press is obsessed with him, obviously. His parents, like, don't really care about him. He's super rich, but basically he suffers a PR misstep. He's cut off and he is shipped away. He has to spend the holidays in his grandparents' house, like, in the smallest town imaginable, basically. It is a festive winter wonderland, and he's just not feeling it. But then he also ends up having to share the space with a local who is just like over everything, right? He's just like, I don't care that you're apparently rich. The press is obsessed with you. You're in the news. Like, I just don't care about that. Love it. Love it so much because there's a charity gala which is hosted in the town. There's the coordinator just, I don't remember why they're gone, but anyway, they're gone. And Matthew decides to step in. So this one was just such a fun holiday romance. If you're kind of a grump, you might really enjoy You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. If you love spoiled main characters, you kind of have to realize that, they're not the sun around everything else. That's this one. It took me a long time to like Matthew, but once I did, I definitely did. I don't often like spoiled characters, but I gotta hand it to Matthew and also the author of this book. Eventually, you get there, and you didn't just fall in love with him. Your Mean One, Matthew Prince, is definitely committed to exploring what happens when no one sees our side of things, when we're in the wrong, when we're misguided, and when we have to say this. When we have to admit that all of these vulnerabilities, which you always can't see from the surface, and what's happening underneath. The next one is Kiss Her Once for Me, which is from the author of The Charm Offensive. Really enjoyed this one. The main character ends up having a Christmas Eve meet cute with a woman at a bookstore, and they fall in love in a single night. But they have a betrayal the next morning, and then she also loses her job. So she ends up working at a local coffee shop, and she decides then to have a marriage of convenience with a friend of hers to kind of fix her financial issues. They spend the holidays together at his family cabin, and oh my gosh, her fiance's sister is the one that she had that one night thing with. And so she has to decide if she kind of decides to, abandon the only plan she has of safety and security and financial safety, and risk something on this woman who, honestly was already in and out of that relationship before. Kiss Her Once for Me has family drama. It has toxic parents, absent parents, parents who look at us with disdain. The family dynamics between her friend and his sister are just so much. It is a messy, complicated family. And so I really loved that. There's fake engagement, second chance romance, tons of forced proximity. It is just a book that makes you kind of think about what is worth taking the risk for love, and how do we forgive someone. And it was just really cute. The family situations totally stole my heart in the way that we have to hide secrets from the ones we love. We try to protect them. We try to save them from pain. But in the end, we also can do so much damage to the ones that we love. So definitely a recommendation from me. And the last one that I've already read is Season of Love. Basically, in Season of Love, one of the characters, Miriam, she inherits her great aunt's Christmas tree farm, but she doesn't really care about it too much. But when she inherits the farm, she ends up having or meeting the other character, Noelle, who has been the one who has been making this Christmas tree farm run with her great aunt, who is you're not in it, right? You don't care about this farm. You don't care about any of us. You don't care about it. But I do. And so in order to save the Christmas tree farm, they might have to work together. This is a dual POV romance, which I really enjoyed. And it basically talks a little bit about the way that the past haunts us. It talks about both Miriam and Noelle's relationship with the great aunt, which is complex and complicated in a variety of different ways. And it also the dual perspective allows us to see the miscommunications happening between these two characters, which is precious, infuriating, and also just swoony all at once, basically. And I think that we have to view them, or we have to see them, realize when their first judgments about a person are wrong, and how do we fix that? And the chemistry also is just really, really fun. Both of the characters are great, and the character development for both of these perspectives are really great. I love when there are dual perspective stories, and both of the characters goes through some really great character development, not just one character. And the last one I want to talk about, which I haven't read, is actually Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. It is the fourth book in the Wedding Date series. I feel like I've read maybe one of them in this series. I haven't read this one, but I definitely want to. This is on my TBR. And basically, she is, well, the main character tags along on her daughter's work trip to England. And on that trip, she becomes instantly attracted to a certain private secretary. So there's a lot of sparks on this kind of holiday vacation. It is book 4, so I guess there's going to be some crossovers between all of the different books. I don't know if I've read any of them, which is why I might have to do a little bit more research before I read this one. But anyway, it looks really, really cute, and I love the covers a lot. I've also heard a lot about books from Jasmine Guillory, so optimistic there. And that brings me to the end of my diverse holiday romance books that I wanted to chat about with you today. I hope that you have found some that you're interested. Please let me know down below if I've missed any, which I probably have. But let me know down below which ones I've missed and your thoughts about them. And I will see you in the next video, because we are getting close to the end of 24. We're getting close to the end of the year wrap-ups, to the best of lists. Like, we're getting close to the end. All right. Bye, everybody.